Do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you like progression-like content? Do you like to watch people suffer? Then you've come to the right place. I, Thundernumel, invite you to join me in a little adventure called Yu-Gi-Oh! Depression Series. We will start by opening one virtual booster box of Legend of Blue Eyes and we'll make a deck that we will pit against ranked opponents on Dueling Book. Based on our performance every week, we will get a different amount of coins that we will be able to use to unlock new official Yu-Gi-Oh! Products in chronological order, or buy more of the products that we already unlocked. Let's suffer together by using unplayable garbage cards and try to climb the Dueling Book ladder. Hello everyone and welcome, my name is Thundernumel and I welcome you to my channel. In this episode of Depression Series, I figured we could shake things up a bit. Instead of playing on Dueling Book Ranked Ladder, I thought we could play on Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega. If you enjoy watching duels on Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega rather than Dueling Book, let me know down in the comments below and we might make this change permanent. Before we get into the pack opening, let's see how many points we got. In the previous episodes we managed to destroy 11 monsters giving us 1 point. We managed to deal 3300 damage giving us 0 points. And we also managed to win 2 games which gives us another 20. I still won't be counting likes for this episode because I'm trying to save them for the later episode. This brings our point total for this episode to 41, and we opened up a Dark Necrophere in the last one, so we'll be opening a Legacy of Darkness, but before that, let's spin our Depression wheels. Oh my lord, we pulled a Red Dragon Archfiend and Red Nova Dragon. If my memory serves right, we pulled a Red Nova Dragon and a Red Dragon Archfiend in our previous opening of High Speed Raiders. This means that we have 2 of each now, and I think this is a sign to play a synchro deck for this episode. I'll see what we can do, but before that, let's get into the set review for Legacy of Darkness. Legacy of Darkness was introduced on June 6, 2003. It was a set that introduced spirit monsters, a powerful subtype of monsters with interesting effects, but with a drawback of returning to the owner's hand at the end of the turn. Some of the more notable cards in the set include Exile Force, Bottomless Trap Hole, Injection Fairy Lily, and Air Knight Parshath. Our challenge for the next set, Pharaonic Guardian, will be to pull an Air Knight Parshath or a Dark Ruler Hades. Without any further ado, let's open our box of Legacy of Darkness and see what we have in store. Well guys, we are here with the deck profile and I'm sorry but I did it again. I just realized that I played 11 new cards and I was supposed to play only 10, but I already recorded the game, so I guess I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. So okay, this deck revolves around summoning the Red Dragon Archfiend and possibly even summoning the Red Nova Dragon. We are running a few tuners that could get the job done, but it's really scuffed. First off, we have an Emancipator Analyzer that can summon one of the two Destroyer Golems and then just go into the Red Dragon Archfiend from there. It could also summon the Morphing Jar number 2 in case we don't hit the Golems, but I don't know if that'll come in handy ever. We are playing one Archfiend Eccentric as removal for back row or monsters. We are playing 4 Resonators, the best one probably being the Red Resonator that we can use to summon any of our level 4s and then go into the Emancipator Risen Leonite. Also, we are running triple Witch of the Black Forest, and in tandem with Red Resonator we could either search for Spirit of the Flames or the Rock Spirit that we can then special summon for additional damage. We are also running Dark Resonator that can avoid destruction by battle once each turn. We are running the Chain Resonator that, when it's normal summoned while a Synchro monster is on the field, can special summon another Resonator from the deck. So the idea is that if we already have Red Dragon Archfiend, we can normal summon the Chain Resonator, and then the Chain Resonator can special summon the Dark Resonator from the deck, making us a Red Nova Dragon. We are running 1 Pancratops, 1 Mystic Mine, and we got Demise of the Land, so we'll be seeing this Mystic Mine more often, I'm afraid. We are running double Mystic Tomato to get to our Witches. We are running 1 Sangen as our level 3, and Sangen and the Dark Resonator can make a Leonite. We are running a double Creature Swap just to give our opponent a Witch Tomato or a Sangen and then walk over it. We are running triple Dark Hole, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Raigeki, 1 Upstart Goblin for consistency, hopefully, double Bottomless, double Fairy Box, Mirror Wall, Judgment, Torrential, Waboku, and Imperial Order. For our extra deck, the fusions don't matter really. We are running 1 Leonite, double Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Red Nova Dragon, and 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech. Without further ado, let's get into the games. Our first game of the day is gonna be up against Grand Maju, and we're gonna be going first. We're gonna open up by setting Mystic Tomato and triple back row. In the end phase, he'll activate the effect of Gizmek Orochi, and he can special summon it by banishing 8 cards face down from the top of his deck. On his turn, he's gonna activate Allure of Darkness, and we're gonna chain Imperial Order, negating it. Next, he will set a card, then activate the Danger Bigfoot, and we hit the Bigfoot, so he's gonna be able to destroy the Imperial Order. He will then proceed to battle phase, attacking over our Mystic Tomato, and off of the effect of Mystic Tomato we're gonna special summon another Tomato. Next, in the main phase 2, he's gonna use the effect of Gizmek, banishing 3 cards from his extra deck face down to destroy our Tomato, so things aren't looking that great for us so far. For turn we're gonna draw a Dark Resonator, and it can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, so hopefully that can stall some more. We're gonna set it and pass the turn. And our opponent is gonna use his Gamma Seal, the Sea Turtle Kaiju, to tribute it and special summon the Kaiju to our side of the field. Then he's gonna proceed to the battle phase, and we are gonna activate Fairy Box, trying to destroy his Gizmek. However, we are calling the coin toss wrong here, so our Gamma Seal gets destroyed. For turn we draw into an Emancipator Analyzer, and we can special summon it because our opponent is the only one with the monsters on the field. Next we're gonna use the effect of Analyzer, and off of the Analyzer we can special summon the Morphing Jar number 2. Then we can normal summon the Destroyer Golem and go into the Red Dragon Archfiend. However, on the summon of the Red Dragon, our opponent is gonna use Super Polymerization, fusing our Red Dragon Archfiend into the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. And it's really sad that the first Synchro summoned monster of the series gets dealt with so easily, but what can we do? So he's gonna use the effect of Starving. Next, he's gonna use the effect of Gizmek Orochi, summoning it back onto the field again, and we're gonna pass the turn. He's gonna use the effect of Orochi, destroying our Morphing Jar number 2, and then using the trade-in, he will discard the Gadarla to draw 2 more cards. He's gonna draw into a Grand Maju and attack us with the Gizmek. However, we're gonna be using Waboku to try and prevent the damage. We also hit the coin toss off of the Fairy Box wrong, so I'm not really liking this card so far. We are drawing into another Fairy Box, we're gonna set it and pass the turn. However, our opponent is going to overlay his 2 monsters into Dingirsu, and then using the effect of Ding, he's gonna send our Fairy Box that was face down to the graveyard. He's gonna attack us with the Grand Maju, we're gonna use the effect of Fairy Box, and of course we call it wrong again, so we lost the first game of the week. Our second game is up against Sacred Beast, and that's a strategy that I really enjoy. We're gonna be opening up by setting a Mystic Tomato and double bottomless trap hole and passing our turn. Our opponent is going to activate the effect of offering to the Spirit Gates, adding a Dark Beckoning Beast to the hand. Next, he's gonna normal summon the beast. Using its effect, he's gonna grab a Fallen Paradise from his deck. He's gonna extra normal summon the Chaos Summoning Beast, and then activating Pot of Desires, he'll banish 10 to draw 2. He will then go into Salamangreat Almirage and pass his turn. For turn, we draw into a Spirit of the Flames, but we cannot do anything with it, so we're just gonna flip summon the Mystic Tomato, and he's gonna activate the effect of Almirage, targeting his Dark Beckoning Beast. We're gonna proceed to the battle phase, attacking with the Tomato, and on destruction of the Dark Beckoning Beast, he's gonna summon back the Salamangreat Almirage. We're gonna pass the turn, and our opponent is going to tribute his Almirage for Dark Summoning Beast. Then using the effect of Dark Summoning Beast, he'll summon his first Sacred Beast, Ravael, Lord of the Phantasms. However, it's gonna be met with a bottomless trap hole, so he's gonna banish the Dark Summoning Beast, adding a Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, to his hand. He's gonna use the effect of the Spirit Gates and summoning Dark Beckoning Beast again. He will set double back row and pass it back to us. For turn, we draw into a Destroyer Golem, so I'm thinking we should go onto the offensive. We're gonna normal summon the Golem, and on the normal summon, he's gonna activate Escape from Dark Dimension, summoning back the Dark Summoning Beast. He's gonna use its effect, and then we're gonna go into battle phase, destroying both of his monsters. For his turn, he's gonna activate another Gates, adding Ravel, Lord of Phantasm, Shimmering Scraper to his hand. He's gonna normal summon another Dark Beckoning Beast, then add Dark Summoning Beast to his hand. He's gonna tribute the Dark Summoning Beast, and then tribute it while chaining Awakening of the Sacred Beast to summon his other Sacred Beast, Hamon, Lord of the Striking Thunder. However, much like the previous one, it's gonna be met with a bottomless trap hole. He's gonna add back the Escape from Dark Dimension, set double back row, and pass the turn. For turn, we draw into a Dark Hole, which doesn't really do much for us, but we're gonna go to the battle phase and attack with both of our monsters. Our opponent is gonna activate the Spirit Gates again, then summon back the Dark Summoning Beast, then he's gonna summon the Dark Beckoning Beast, and then link them into a Verte Anaconda. At this point, I'm thinking it's gonna be Dragoon. However, he's sending the instant fusion from his deck to the graveyard, and then he will concede. I don't know what that was about. He didn't respond to my messages, but a win is a win, so we got our game 2. Our third game of the week is gonna be against Fire Fist, and I'm trying to do Demise of the Land into Mystic Mine insta win, but I don't know if that's going to work because I'm still not aware of what I'm playing against. So as I see Fire King Island, I'm thinking that I'm done, because he can just use the island to destroy his own monsters, and then we both will have no monsters on the field. However, for now, he's gonna normal summon the Fire King Avatar Arvara and attack us directly for 1800. He's gonna set one and pass the turn. We draw into a Chaos Trap Hole, and then he's gonna use the effect of Barong to add a Yaksha to his hand. We are just going to set one and pass the turn, and this Chaos Trap Hole isn't doing much for us considering our opponent is only playing fire monsters, but let's see what happens. So he's gonna normal summon the Yaksha, then attack us with both of his monsters. Then he's gonna activate Circle of the Fire Kings, destroying the Yaksha to special summon the Barong. However, on the special summon of Barong, we're gonna activate Demise of the Land to summon the Mystic Mine. Then his Yaksha will destroy his Wicked Eraser. So, in the main phase 2, he's gonna activate the Fire King's Island, destroying his Avatar Arvara and adding Garunix to his hand. He's just gonna pass from there, and then for turn we draw into a Morphing Jar number 2. Now I'm considering setting the Morphing Jar, however the Mystic Mine will be destroyed at that point, so I just decide to do nothing and pass it back to my opponent. He draws for turn, next he activates Fire King Island, destroying his Barong, and then he will just pass the turn, destroying our Mystic Mine in the process. For turn we draw into a Dark Hole that doesn't do much for us. His Barong is gonna add him the Circle of the Fire Kings to his hand, so we are just gonna set the Morphing Jar and pass it back to our opponent. He's gonna draw, then he's gonna activate Tenki. Off of the Tenki, he will add Arvara to his hand. Next, he will activate Onslaught of the Fire King, special summoning Neptis from his deck. He's gonna activate True King Agnimazad's effect, destroying 2 of his fire monsters to summon it, and then he's gonna banish our Morphing Jar number 2. He's gonna normal summon the Fire King Avatar Arvara, and then using the effect of the island, he's gonna add a Kirin to his hand. he's gonna set one and then proceed to the battle phase. However, we have Mirror Wall, so we can just barely survive this onslaught. We're not gonna be able to pay for the Mirror Wall, and his Barong is gonna add him another Garunix. Next, the Garunix in the graveyard will activate special summoning it in defense position. He's gonna use the effect of Garunix, then he will negate it with the effect of Arvada. We are gonna be forced to use a Dark Hole here, purely because we have no real good plays to go off of, and I am well aware that his monster's effects proc when they are destroyed, but we cannot do much about that. So he's gonna activate Kirin in his hand and then Arvada in his graveyard, special summoning the Garunix and the Kirin. We're gonna normal summon the Red Resonator, special summoning off of it a Destroyer Golem. Next, we're gonna Synchro Summon into Leonite. Using the effect of Leonite, we'll activate 5, and lo and behold, we get the Analyzer. However, we cannot special summon the Analyzer, considering the fact that we have Leonite on our field. So, we're gonna banish the Red Resonator from the graveyard, special summoning the Spirit of the Flames, and then we're gonna special summon the Synchron Resonator in defense. We're gonna proceed to the battle phase, destroying the Kirin, and then we're gonna destroy the Garunix. He's gonna special summon the Barong from his hand, and then he's gonna activate Circle of the Fire Kings, destroying the Barong to summon the Garunix. Our opponent decides to quit at this point, and I asked him why he did that, and he said that the game was frozen for him. So I'm gonna choose to believe him, because he only needed like 200 damage and to walk over our Spirit of the Flames, so I don't think that's too hard to do for him. So this game is a loss, but let's see what we can do after. Our fourth game is gonna be up against Blue Eyes Chaos Max yet again. We're gonna open up by setting 2 cards, then we're gonna activate Upstart Goblin, drawing into the Dino Wrestler Pancratops. Then we're gonna set Mystic Tomato and pass it back to our opponent. Our opponent activates the Bingo Machine Go, and we're gonna chain the Imperial Order. Now at this point I'm thinking he's playing pure Blue Eyes, so this might be a hindrance, but nothing a Blue Eyes player can take care of. However, he's gonna activate Incantation Candle, revealing a Chaos form in his hand. Next, he will summon the Talismandra and the Candle, and then he's gonna add a Blue Eyes Chaos Max off of that. Now he's gonna tribute both of his monsters for Blue Eyes by Dragon, and he's gonna attack into our Tomato. We're gonna use the effect of Tomato, summoning a Witch of the Black Forest from our deck. He's gonna pass the turn, and we're gonna pay 700 for the Imperial Order. Next, we're gonna switch the Witch to defense and then set the Morphing Jar number 2. We're gonna pass it back to our opponent, and with the Imperial Order on the field, he's really struggling to play. However, he's gonna go into the battle phase, and he will just pass the turn because he's too scared to attack into our monster. We're gonna flip it up ourselves, and the Morphing Jar will resolve. We will, off of the Morphing Jar, get another Tomato, and we'll lose the Rock Spirit. However, our opponent mills a Blue Eyes instantly, so he doesn't get to summon anything off of it. We're gonna be setting our Resonator and passing the turn. We're gonna pay 700 for the Imperial Order, and he's gonna activate another Candle, summoning another Talismandra. Then off of the effect of Talismandra, he's gonna add another Chaos Max to his hand. However, he cannot activate Chaos Form with the Imperial Order on the field, and once I realize this, I'm gonna go into the offensive. We're gonna flip summon both of our monsters, and we're gonna proceed to the battle phase, destroying both of his monsters. Then we're gonna set a Fairy Box and pass it back to our opponent. He cannot do anything, so he just passes the turn, discarding the Advanced Ritual Art. We're gonna be normal summoning the Witch of the Black Forest, and going into the battle phase, we'll attack with everything we have. We're gonna pass it back to him, he's gonna draw a card, and he's going to surrender because he cannot play with no spells, and we have more than enough turns to attack with our puny monsters and finish off the game. So, game 4 is a win, and let's see what happens in the game 5. Game 5 for this week is gonna be a bloodbath, guys, and this is like my 5th take on it, so I'm really sorry if the narration ends up being really scuffed. We're gonna be playing against Bujin, and we open up by setting Morphing Jar number 2 and a Chaos Trap Hole. He's gonna activate Tanky. Off of the Tanky, he will pick up the Triff, and when he normal summons the Triff, will negate the summon with the Chaos Trap Hole, so it ends up being banished. He will set 1 card, passing it back to us. On the start of our turn, he'll activate Bujin Regalia the Sword, putting back Triff into the graveyard. We'll normal summon the Witch of the Black Forest and attack for 1100. We'll just pass it back to him, and he'll activate yet another Tanky, adding yet another Triff to his hand, and this time it will resolve, so when he uses the effect of Triff, he'll summon the Mihitotsu and Aquilin. he will overlay both of those into a Susanova, then equip the Triff, and then he will detach one to add a Crane. He will then set one card, proceeding to the battle phase, attacking over our Witch, and he will banish it, so we won't be able to trigger the effect. However, when he attacks into the Morphing Jar number 2, his monsters go back to the extra deck. He will then banish one to special summon Bujin Hiruma and pass it back to us. For turn, we draw into a Mystic Mine, and this is where it starts getting crazy. So our opponent has more cards in the main deck than we do, so we cannot deck him out. We have no alternative win conditions, so we cannot win through the burn. So the only way to win is to assemble an OTK, and I am well aware that somewhere in my deck there is a 6-card combo that can deal 6900 damage. However, for the life of me, we cannot draw it fast enough. And also, our opponent does run an out to Mystic Mine in his deck, so this is gonna be really interesting. So far we have set a Fairy Box and a Vaboku. Now I'm thinking that if he chooses to destroy our Mystic Mine, we can survive for a turn with Vaboku. Then on the following turn we can use the effect of Dark Hole, destroying all of his monsters, and then maybe try to go for an OTK. However, he's assembling a really powerful board, and he has double back row, so I'm thinking that I should keep this Archfiend Eccentric in order to destroy one of his back rows and make it more safer to OTK. So we're gonna discard the Golem, he's gonna pass it back to us, we're gonna draw into a Bottomless. I choose not to set it at this point because I want to keep this zone here unoccupied. He's gonna link his 2 monsters into a Phoenix, that does nothing against Mystic Mine. We're gonna draw into a Tomato, discard it, he's gonna just pass it back to us, we're gonna draw into a Destroyer Golem, and I'm thinking we need to go into a Red Resonator in order to start going with our Synchro plays. Maybe a Red Resonator, the Rock Spirit, the Flame Spirit, all that Shazam. However, this is really interesting because he chooses to free up his zone by using Bujin Hiruko, going into Kagetsuchi. Next, he will activate Pot of Acquisitiveness, shuffling 3 cards into his deck and drawing an additional one. Then he's gonna activate a Bujin Candescence, and that card can actually negate the effects of Mystic Mine. Now I look at my hand and I see that I still have no ways to OTK him, so I activate Solemn Judgment, negating the negation of my Mystic Mine. So at this point I realize that my opponent has an out to Mystic Mine, and I'm really getting scared. I draw into a Rock Spirit, and that's gonna be an additional 700 or 1700 points of damage. However, that's not nearly enough to OTK. He's gonna activate Duality, and off of the Duality he'll add another Bujin to his hand. Next he'll normal summon the Mihitotsu, set 1 card and pass the turn. On the following turn he's activating Bujincident, which banishes all of his monsters, and because we both have 0 monsters on the field, he'll be able to destroy Mystic Mine. Now I'm trying to prevent the destruction of Mystic Mine for another turn, so I'm gonna set the Synchron Resonator. However, he only needs to summon 1 monster and pass the turn, and then Mystic Mine will be destroyed. And lo and behold, he does that. He sets 1 monster, sets a back row, and then Mystic Mine gets destroyed. Also, an additional effect of Bujincident is that none of us can summon monsters, but we can set them. And that's really putting a clock on us. So we're gonna be setting Witch of the Black Forest and a Bottomless Trap Hole and passing it back to our opponent. The Bujincident is gonna activate, bringing back the Kagetsuchi, and he's gonna go into the battle phase, but he chooses not to attack. And I can't really blame him because we do have 5 back rows. So we're gonna normal summon the Destroyer Golem. Next we're gonna flip up Witch of the Black Forest. Next we're gonna flip up the Synchron Resonator. And with all 3 of our monsters we're gonna make a Vermilion Mag Dragon. Then we're gonna use the effect of Synchron Resonator to add back the Dark Resonator, and then use the effect of Witch of the Black Forest to add a Pancratops. Now we can special summon the Pancratops at this point, however we cannot use its effects. We use the effect of Vermilion Mag banishing the Synchron Resonator to destroy his face down monster, and next we're gonna banish the Destroyer Golem to summon the Rock Spirit. We're gonna free up our back row by using Vaboku on this turn, and then we're gonna activate Archfiend Eccentric. Using the effect of Eccentric, we'll try to destroy his Regalia the Sword, however he can change it to add back the Triffon to his hand. We're gonna activate Creature Swap, and he's gonna chain here, but that doesn't do much. So we're gonna give him the Rock Spirit, and he cannot protect him with the cards in his hand or graveyard because it's not a Bujin monster. So we're gonna activate Raigeki, destroying the Rock Spirit, and at this point we are just praying. we're gonna go into the battle phase, attack with the Pankratops. He's gonna activate Call of the Haunted. With the Call of the Haunted, he's gonna bring back Bujinte Susanoo. However, we have a bottomless trap hole and we can banish the Susanoo, so our attacks go through and we win the game. This game took me so many tries to narrate and I'm not doing it another time. I just hope it's not too scuffed. Anyways, this was an insane game and I really enjoyed it. And look, would you look at this? We have a Synchro and an Xyz in Depression series, so I'm really happy about how it turned out. And not to mention, we won our third game of the week, so I'm so happy about that. Hello, it is Pot of Greed. What do I do? Not important, I'm definitely not a Western spy. I have an announcement to make, comrades. I signed up Thundernumel to a Go tournament. He's gonna be playing with his Depression series collection. It's gonna be amazing, and the episode is gonna come out sometime next week. Make sure to stay tuned. I have been Pot of Greed. Goodbye. So guys, the next episode is gonna mark the end of the first season of the Depression series. If you would like me to continue playing on Dueling Book, do let me know in the comments. But if you prefer to watch the series on Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega, make sure to let me know as well. I really do hope that we do well in the tournament. The tournament is the reason why I've been saving all of my life points so far. So if you would like to help me do better in the tournament, make sure to like this video and the other ones in the Depression series. Hopefully we can at least make it to Top Cut. If you enjoyed the content that was presented to you, also consider subscribing. I love each and every one of you. And until next time, bye!